Some stories are just that, stories. But tonight, these are true. Or at least the people who told them swear they are. Some came from dark forests, some from empty city streets, and some from the very rooms you think are safe. Stay with me, I dare you, because by the end, you'll question every sound you hear tonight. This is 5 terrifying true stories that will keep you awake tonight. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and let's begin. I needed a place to finish my book. Somewhere with no distractions, no Wi-Fi, no neighbors, no excuses. So when I found Cabin 13 on a rental site, I didn't care that it looked old. The first night was quiet. The second night, though, I was halfway through a chapter when I heard it. A faint whisper. I froze, listened. Nothing. Just the wind scratching the window. But it came back, clearer, like someone under the floor. I laughed it off, maybe a mouse. But it kept happening. Every night, the whispers grew louder. They never formed words, just this dry, rasping sound, like lips brushing against wood. By the 4th night, I couldn't sleep. I grabbed my flashlight and pried open the old hatch in the floor. Beneath was a crawl space colder than outside. I crawled in. The whispering stopped. At the far end, I saw a small, rotted box. Inside were brittle papers, pages ripped from a journal. They belonged to the last tenant, I guess. The last line says, "They told me secrets. They won't let me leave." I dropped the pages. That's when I heard it right behind me. A breath that wasn't mine. I scrambled out, slammed the hatch shut, threw my bags in the car. As I drove away, I looked back once. In the upstairs window, something moved the curtain aside. I never finished that book. I never will. If you think that was unsettling, the next one might make you check your locks tonight. I moved into my first apartment when I was 22. It wasn't much, just a studio with peeling paint and creaky pipes. But it was mine. A month in, little things started happening. A cereal box fell off the counter. My keys turned up under the couch. Harmless stuff, right? Then one night, I woke up to the sound of a spoon clattering in the kitchen. I was alone. I told myself maybe I'd left it near the edge, but it kept happening. So I bought a cheap hidden camera and pointed it at the kitchen. The next day, I sat down to check the footage. First, nothing. Just me leaving for work, lights going off. Then around 2 a.m. I saw it. The figure, crawling out of the bottom cabinet. A man, thin, filthy, wearing my missing hoodie. He stood up, sniffed the air like an animal, rummaged through my fridge, ate my leftovers. Then he vanished back into the cabinet. Couldn't breathe. I called the cops, shaking. They found him living in the crawl space behind the cabinet. He'd been there for weeks, watching me. Sometimes I wonder, how many nights did I sleep while he was a few feet away, listening to me breathe? You never know who's sharing your space, but some things outside are worse than what's inside. My friends and I go camping every summer. Same spot, deep in the forest where the trees swallow the sky. Last year, we pitched our tents, lit a fire, told stupid ghost stories. Around midnight, the fire started dying and we heard twigs snapping in the dark. We shone our flashlights, nothing. But the sounds circled us, slow, careful. Then we saw it. Between the trees, tall, thin, almost human, but not. Just standing there, watching. We thought it was a prank. We yelled, it didn't move. One of us threw a rock. It stepped back, melting into the trees. We packed up immediately, too scared to stay. The next day, we made jokes about it. But that night, back in my bed at home, I woke up cold. My window was open. I never leave it open. In the yard, under the streetlight, I saw it. The same figure, still, watching my house. I shut the window, locked it. It didn't come closer. But for weeks after, I'd see it down the street, by the bus stop, across from my work. Then one day gone. Never saw it again. But I can't camp anymore. What if it's waiting? In the trees. Sometimes they find you in the woods. Sometimes you find them in places you trust the most. I'm a night shift nurse at a very old hospital, the kind that's had 1,000 stories and too many deaths. One night, near 3 a.m., I saw a kid standing by the vending machines. A little boy, maybe 6 or 7. Hospital gown, no shoes. I went over, knelt down. "Hey there, are you lost?" He just looked at me. Then he turned and walked away. I followed him down a hallway that hasn't been used in years, an old psych ward, padlocked since the 80s. But the door was open. Inside, it was freezing. Rusted beds, broken glass. I heard him giggle up ahead. I turned the corner. Empty. I called security. They checked the whole floor, no kid. No footprints. No open windows. Later, I looked up old records. Back in the 70s, a boy died in that wing, locked in during a staff strike. Sometimes, when I walk those halls at night, I hear little footsteps behind me. I don't look back anymore. The dead don't always stay where we bury them. Sometimes, they come to visit you instead. We moved to the suburbs for peace and quiet. Just me, my wife, our daughter. The first time it happened, we thought it was kids messing around. A soft tap at the living room window around midnight. I turned on the porch light, nobody there. Then it happened again, and again. Same time every night. I set up a motion camera facing the backyard. The next morning, I checked the footage. My stomach dropped. Around 12:03 a.m., a pale face appeared at the window. Gaunt, hollow eyes, staring right in. It stayed there for 5 minutes. No movement except for its mouth. It was whispering something. We called the police. They found nothing. But every night, the tapping came back. One night, I waited by the window with a bat. When the tapping started, I yanked the curtains open. Nothing. No face. No footprints in the wet grass. But the window had a handprint. Long fingers. Too long. We moved. We thought we'd escaped it. But last week, my daughter came to our room at 12:03 a.m. She whispered, "Daddy, the window man is back." 5 stories. 5 sleepless nights. Which one will you dream about tonight? If you're brave enough for more, hit subscribe, tap the like button, and tell me in the comments what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you. This is Hauntedreels. Sleep well, if you can.